What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew L. Casey. You're now tuned into the Middle Initial Podcast. Today is February 20th, 2024, and I'm with my co-host, as usual, Jude. No, I'm with Kev. I'm with Kevin A. Lewis. Jude's not here. He's taking vacation. So it's just me and Kev today. What's going on, Kev?
Not much, man. Not much. Just basking in the world where we complain about exhibition games being treated like exhibition games, but and you've been wishing ill on me for the last 5 days, 4 days, 3 days.
I would say two, roughly two.
Okay, sure, two. It's been multiple different occasions. I feel attacked. I feel scared for my safety, but it. but it's all good. Like air I rise, all the same. It's all good. It's all good.
I would figure you say like a phoenix I rise.
I think like air I rise is more obnoxious, but I'll tuck the phoenix line away for a different time. Yes.
Yes, I've been sending I wouldn't say threats, just friendly reminders to Kev.
Friendly reminder. That's what we're doing. Friendly.
Periodically.
Say it if somebody runs up on you in a Padres jersey, it's me. It's friendly. since when? Since when? I think I have a pretty good grasp on the English language, but I must need to relook up the word friendly then.
The fact that I specifically said a Padres jersey is me.
It's really funny visual. Not gonna lie. Just somebody running up with a fucking
full
19, one of the brown throwbacks too. Like a brown throwback 19 jersey, just like you ain't gonna talk about Tony like that and it's stomping me out. That's funny. I can't even lie to you. It's a funny video.
And people go, hey, that guy from San Diego must be pissed. He's from Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn.
You just standing for a cause.
Just for a cause. Standing hall. My baseline is Tony Gwynn, Carmelo Anthony, and Jamal Adams.
Yeah, yes.
That's been my baseline the entire weekend.
Yes.
But all threats aside, NBA All-Star Weekend is officially over again. And this was quite possibly the worst All-Star Weekend in terms of, I guess, in terms of entertainment. Let me not even say, I guess, in terms of entertainment, it wasn't really entertaining All-Star Weekend. The three-point showdown with Steph Curry and a young lady from the WNBA. I forgot her name off the top of my head.
Sabrina Ionescu.
Yes, Ionescu.
I probably forgot her last name, but you get the point. Yep.
That was probably the best portion of the weekend. The dunk contest was god-awful for several reasons. The three-point shooting contest was okay. I mean, you can never really find fault in the three-point shooting contest until maybe if the whole lineup was trash, but Dame, defending his title, he won. Some people, of course, I think now.
I mean, there were 7 All-Stars in it, right?
Yeah, about.
And I think there was one that didn't make the game. I can't remember who it was, but there was one who didn't make the game. But I think it was 7 All-Stars and 1 non-All-Star, which matters for a lot of people. So, not really. I don't like if you can shoot, you can shoot. I don't really give a fuck if you made the All-Star game or not. But that's just one man's opinion. So.
But there's a difference between, like, Jalen Brunson was in the three-point shooting contest, right? And I wouldn't necessarily classify him as a shooter, but he's shooting 40% from three. So there's always a year where somebody.
I think you need to respect Jalen Brunson personally. Personally,
I respect him, but I wouldn't classify him as a shooter in the same way I was.
I think you're disrespecting him if you're not going to classify him as a shooter.
Would you put him in the same category as Trae Young, Steph Curry, and Dame Lillard?
Do I put him in the same category as Steph? No. Do I put him in the same category as Dame? Dame has done it for longer, to be fair. So I'm not gonna. Do I think Jalen is like in the next tier of guys? Yes. Like, bro, his shooting numbers from everywhere are amazing. And like, I'm joking with the disrespect part, but like, Jalen Brunson's a better shooter than people realize he is. Like, 3-pointer contest aside, because fuck the contest. I'm talking about just him shooting from everywhere. And the fact of the matter with Jalen, what separates him is these are not catch and shoot type opportunities. These are not spot up opportunities.
No,
he's creating all this shit for himself, and he's still like 95th or greater percentile in like every relevant shooting metric. Like, he's just a great fucking shooter. He hasn't done it for a long time, to be fair, so I can't put him in like Dame territory. Steph is by himself. I'm not even addressing Steph. But like the rest of the mortals, I guess. Like I put him with Dame yet because body of work, blah blah blah.
Right.
But he's an incredible shooter. But either way, keep going.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't put him like him being in the contest probably the only obscure. You know what I mean? If you were to look at it, because there've been years like Allen Iverson went, and that was crazy. I don't know why Allen Iverson thought he was going to.
He was in a 3-point contest.
Yes, he was in the 3-point contest.
All right. I mean, they put a big name in the contest. All right, bro.
Right. There've been a few years guys felt like they were going to go out there and do something and put their name in the ring, which is kind of what you want to see. Which is kind of what you want to see for a shooting contest, but not a dunking contest. Is which we'll get into that. But I mean, the celebrity game was crazy. Micah Parsons went off in the celebrity. Micah Parsons had like a 36-point double-double in the celebrity game.
You want to talk about a fucking hardo. You got Micah Parsons. You want to talk about a hard ass. It's Micah Parsons.
Yo.
Now, granted, like, part of me respects it because it's like, if you're going to put me on the court and ask me to play basketball, I'm going to give effort.
Right.
Like, you're going to have to meet me where I am. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, some people just don't want to lose, and whatever the fuck they do, shout out to them. He's one of them, apparently. Like, he's going to be the guy. If you put cards in front of him, you're going to want to bust your ass. Right. I have a level of respect for that. Like, he just has one speed. He has one pitch. He don't got a changeup. He don't got a curveball. He got 99. That's it. He got the 99. He don't got no other speeds. He not taking nothing off. He's like, yo, here it is. Hit it, bitch. Right. Like, that's Michael Parsons. So I respect it.
And that's exactly what he did. Shout out to Kai Cenat, who was like, I think on one play he was like begging for the ball, and Kai's this huge Twitch streamer, and he's jumping up and down begging for the. We'll get into him too as well because
we sure fucking will. Yeah, that works. Well, yeah,
because Jaylen Brown, you did that man a disservice by putting him in. That
let's save that for the God words, but let's save that. Well,
yeah. But yeah, of course. So celebrity game was cool. The actual game itself, it wasn't competitive. It wasn't competitive at all. More so this year, because normally what we were seeing in past years was like teams taking it off, maybe hot dogging for the first 3 quarters, and then by the time fourth quarter comes, they try to make it.
They give you something,
right? It did not feel like that this year at all. They scored 211? Was it 211 or something like that?
Yeah, Adam Silver was very displeased about it in the post game. It's like, you guys scored 211. Well, or whatever he said, it was like, he was not happy.
No, and of course, we've seen competitive games where the total score, combined score, was like astronomical because they were going hard, like games. And we did say one year a team would reach 200, and the East would reach 200, but not in a fashion that most of us would have liked to see. I mean, well, the majority of us who still like competitive ball. At one point in time, it felt like Luka and Jokic were just trying to play their own rendition of Harlem Globetrotter basketball.
It was really funny. I watched midway through the third, and then I turned it off because the new episode of Curb was on. Mm-hmm. So but Luka and Jokic were just like, bro, they treated that shit like, you're asking me to do a job event on my day off. Like, that's exactly how they treated it. That's what it was. They were just like, hey, man, you got me coming to the office for the Christmas party. Like, I don't want to be around you people. Like, it's my day off, bro. And then,
there was Luka trying to dunk. He spazzed.
the rim blocked Luka.
the alley off the glass. Bro, you just watching it like, these guys really don't care. And if I'm Adam Silver, of course I'm pissed off because people do expect a level of competition. Now, I don't want to go into the whole Stephen A bag and this whole trope of whatever, because a lot of people that's low hanging fruit. But somebody did say something. I forgot who it was or something key. These guys will go to the Rucker and they will go to the Drew League and they will give them their best. And I think the reason why, because you can't be James Harden in the Drew League and have some random Joe Schmo bust your ass in the Drew League. Those are real hoopers in there. You can't go to the Rucker and put up a bad showing in the Rucker because those are real hoopers in there. They're not going to allow you to come in there and hot dog. They may not foul you hard because of who you tend to be. Like when KD went and dropped like 30 something, and Kobe went out there and like dominated at the Rucker. But there is a level of respect at these places that don't have millions of people watching. As far as the All Star game, though, these guys mostly, for the most part, like each other, for the most part. And I think the consensus is it's a free weekend, and they're not going to go hard for on a free weekend. That's about it. So how do you fix that?
Oh, I mean, the fix is easy. It's just they don't want to do it. Like if you fucked around and said, listen, everybody who wins this game gets 2 mil.
Mm,
I'm not gonna sit here and act like that they would go hard for 4 quarters.
mm.
But what you see wouldn't be that. I mean, maybe not 2 mil, because I guess the winner gets what, like a mil now, or no?
Something like that.
It's like I think it's less than that. But whatever. You up the financial incentive, people will play harder. Do you like the fact that we have to get there is a problem for them? For them, I don't give a fuck personally, because the All Star game is what it is to me. Like I don't. I think that there are bigger issues to worry about than what the fuck they do with their time off, because that's literally what this is. It's their time off. The regular season being basically, I'm not going to say because I do think when we talk about the lack of defense, I do think we put an inordinate amount of focus on the teams who are just bad, who just play bad defense because they're bad. They played bad defense.
Right.
Like I watch the Knicks often. If a lot more people watch teams like the Knicks more regularly, I think the opinions on defense would change a little bit. That does not mean that it's not like slanted towards offense in a way that's way too far. Example, a stat to back this up. The 2016 Warriors had one of the greatest offensive ratings of all time. Or it might have been the greatest. I don't remember. It was up there, right? Bro, do you understand? They would rank that team. You put that team, same performance and everything. You put them in 2024, 2023, 2024, they'd rank 21st. It's gone way too far. It's gone way too far. And we're talking about like the bottom end of those teams who would be ahead of the Warriors are just bad teams. So it's like we can't even say, oh, it's just great team. No, it's bad team. Was it the Hornets? No, the Hornets thing. No, it was somebody else who was like 7 games under 500. There was a couple of those who would have been better offensive rating wise than the Warriors. So like the All-Star game being what it is, either you pay these dudes more or be quiet, because really it is their days off. They treat it as such. I do think from a business perspective, the NBA is kind of a microcosm of society. We all look at jobs like, what can you do for me? Fuck the other way around. It's what can you do for me? NBA stars are like that now. I'm not faulting them for it. It's human fucking nature. What can you do for me? These, because the visibility and also the All-Star game as a concept has ran its course. Because it used to be for the fans, like we grew up Knicks fans. We didn't see Gary Payton, right? Like the All-Star game was, we get to see these cool dudes who play in fucking markets we never fucking see. And for the players, it was, I get to get myself out there. The exposure makes the All-Star game moot for it does, because we see Jokic every day. We see Luka every day. We see Shea. Shea plays a fucking OKC. We see him every day because he's fucking amazing. And like there's exposure all over the place. We see everything. We have eyes everywhere. It's similar to interleague play in baseball. Like it's not what it was 20 years ago. It long since
Definitely not.
Yeah, it's not, because the Yankees playing the Braves is not going to hype nobody up because we see Acuna all the time. The Mets playing the Red Sox is not going to hype nobody up because you see Devers all the time. It's not the fucking same. So like the All-Star game it's kind of a symptom of a bigger issue. Like, and I'm not sitting here trying to act like there's no problems with the All-Star game in general that don't plague them business-wise. I think the prior generation of stars, whether we're talking about from Jordan on down, they had a responsibility to grow the game that they took seriously in a way that these current dudes don't. For better or for fucking worse, they don't take it seriously and I don't think it's just about them. I think it's a multi-leveled issue. People scoff about like the media and how they talk all the time, but it's a big problem because it seeps its way down to the fans. If all you hear all the time is negative, 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 you're going to respond in kind. You're humans. That's how it works.
you know what's funny about the All Star Weekend stuff, especially with the game itself and the dunk contest. Like I said, we'll talk about the dunk contest a little bit later. But the game in itself, when it was competitive,
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like players generally didn't like each other. Like just like players just generally did not like each other.
And they
Or if
were
they
more
liked,
competitive.
I mean, they were more competitive, but also I think there was a level of respect that they have. And I'm not going to say for the game to sound cliche, but for each other. Like if I'm Michael Jordan, I'm playing for the East All Stars, and Charles Barkley's playing for the West, and it's really West versus East in that whole dynamic of it. Then
Right.
I want to make sure that we win. You know what I mean? I may not be like Jordan may not be a Reggie Miller fan, but hey, All Star Weekend, Reggie Miller's come off the bench like yo, when it's your turn to come in, we're gonna dominate or whatever case may be. Like Jordan played with you and guys like that. They were intense rivalries, but every story they talk about there was respect, even if
Mhm.
there was dislike. I
Right.
think what's going on now in the league, there is no East versus West really anymore because the
And
divisions
these
don't
guys
matter.
grew up with each other too, like through
Right.
the AAU circuit. Like that's a
AU,
massive difference than what we
right.
had
Travel
back then.
teams and stuff like
Right.
that. They're friends and family. Like we've never seen a picture of Michael Jordan's family with Clyde Drexler's family. You know what I mean? Not
Right.
like LeBron and Chris Paul and Melo, all the guys that they all buddy
Right.
buddy, they friends with each other.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like KG and Paul Pierce with their podcast, they're trying to relive those moments and they're trying to implicate that there's no people who really like dislike each other. And I think that's something that a lot of the older media people have to understand. This is not your NBA. These guys don't have it in them to sit there and be mad at people that they want to see succeed and get money together. You know what I mean? Where back in the day, everybody was playing on these diseased contracts, like these 7 year, $5 million contracts. It was like,
Yeah, Scotty Pippen playing for like $20 an hour, bro. It's fucking
right,
ludicrous. But yeah.
right. So I think that's the difference. Like guys had to go through the trenches to earn, you know what I mean, a fraction of a contract based on the roster's salary in comparison to now where six man today is making more than Jordan had in his entire career. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Guys,
there's
well,
several players in the league who have made more than Jordan ever did.
and we
Several.
t- and
Now
we
we're
and we
talking about like guys who come off the bench. Like we're talking about like Tobias Harris has made way more than Mike. Like, yeah,
right, like hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars. So I think it's that, and also yeah, NBA. I think NBA players have more power. Is they completely have more power, and they also have the power to say, "Yo, I'm really not feeling competing as hard as I have to compete for All Star Weekend because what if I get hurt? What's in it for me? My family's here." I think if the NBA wanted something, they might have to go back to. They might have to see what the Pro Bowl is doing, and just say, "Look, we're going to give you a whole bunch of skills, 3-on-3, 2-on-2 competitions, and then the game is going to be a non-competitive game. It's going to go out there and have fun, and don't make it 4 quarters. It doesn't have to be 4 quarters. You know what I mean?
gotcha.
Yeah, because like it's like we're 4 quarters, like all right, whatever, whatever. Yo, if Dame is going to take a 3-pointer from half court and make it, I'd rather it be in an environment where it's like, yo, we're chilling. Like, yo, we're chilling. Like, yo, I'm gonna make it from here, blah, blah, blah. Or do what hockey's doing. Hockey has reinvigorated the sport by saying, let's go outside. I know it's not possible to a degree for the NBA, but I'm pretty sure in a warm weather state, they can put a basketball court in the middle of a stadium and say, let's play some hoops outside. It's a stretch, but still,
Right.
you got to give some sort of incentive for people to be interested and want to participate. Forget watching, because the watching part they're going to watch, but the participation part, like yo, how you want to make this fun for people, like for the guys who are basically saying this is the only break we get before summertime. You know what I mean? We play through we play on Christmas, we play through Halloween. You know what I mean? Play around
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, play around New Year's Eve. This is the only real break. How do you incentivize it? And it's hard to,
Yeah.
unless Silver goes and says, you know what? We're not going to. If we give a Christmas slate of games, we're going to give you guys like 4 days off after. If we do New Year's, we'll do 4 days off. Like you got to give. Like I know high schools have experimented with this idea of all school all year round, and the idea was basically people were trying to figure out how that works. The idea with that was basically saying instead of 1 week off of winter break, you can get 2 weeks off. Instead of So they would incentivize giving more time off. So people will come and go to school during the summer where most people don't want to go to school during the summer. So you incentivize by saying on these vacations where you normally get in a week, we're gonna give you 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So for me, if you want to incentivize All-Star game, that first run of holiday time, give them real breaks. We're going to be on break after Christmas for 5 days. We're going to be on break, during Thanksgiving for 3 days. It can't be it's a small slate of games we have off, blah, blah, but we expect it to be here. X, Y, Z. You don't have a real break. That's just how I look at it. But that's just one portion of it. What's wrong with All-Star Weekend? I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. You know why? Have you ever gone to an All-Star Weekend? My friend's in Indianapolis right now. Right. He was with Devin Booker. He was with Chris Paul. He met some WNBA players. He's having time of his life. There's nothing wrong with All-Star Weekend. There's nothing wrong. If you're attending, I think if you're sitting home and watching, there's more to point out that's wrong. But if you're there in Indianapolis and wherever the place may be, I don't think there's nothing wrong with All-Star Weekend as far as if you're attending. But for the people at home, there's everything wrong with All-Star Weekend.
There's a lot of good events at All-Star Weekend that you hear about, and obviously, like, you're rubbing elbows with famous people, blah 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 blah. But there's a lot of good events. Like if you're a kid, if you have a kid, they want to meet Devin Booker, that's possible. They want to meet this, that, and the third, that's possible. So like the All-Star Weekend itself is fine. Also like the players don't even the All-Star Weekend itself, even leading up to the game, like the players still have responsibilities. So it's not even like they're getting half of their time off is basically dedicated to either the game or responsibilities around the game. So it kind of is what it is on that front. Like the part of the reason we are here with regard to the All-Star game and like bigger issues, like with regards to the players and how much they give back to the game, so to speak, is everything with the NBA, how it's covered, how teams now react to that, how teams view it, whatever, is based on transactions, and it's based on the playoffs. The regular season, the NBA, media, everybody to a degree has devalued the regular season, and organizations have acted in kind. Hence why a lot of NBA regular season games, good or bad teams, look like open run at the Y. There's a reason that it's hard to take NBA regular season seriously until like April. Like it's hard because they don't call they call the game like it's open run at the Y, and we just want to see as many points as possible. Like you can't do this, you can't do that. Then April they let you actually play basketball because it's about to get into the playoffs. There's no sport, at least from my eye. Like if one wants to correct me and say hockey, I don't watch much of it, so please feel free to. There's no bigger difference between regular season and postseason than the NBA right now. Like the NFL is largely the same stuff. MLB is largely the same stuff. Like you face better pitching, whatever, but it's largely the same shit. NBA might as well be a different sport because they treat the NBA regular season like it's just a series of exhibition games. That's how they treat it, and that's what the rules lend itself towards. Is this a singular issue? Is this an Adam Silver issue? Not necessarily. I don't think he helped from that perspective. Fine. I think he has a job to do. His job is to make it as profitable as possible, to narrow it down. And that's what he's doing, or that's what he thinks he's doing anyway. And I mean, the ratings kind of tell you that, even though allegedly, like from my buddy who works at the NBA, the All-Star ratings were ass. So do whatever you will, but it's not just a singular issue. It's not just about Adam Silver. It's not just about the media. It's not just about the players. It's a team. It's a team issue that led to this point where you have players you don't feel like any of these players actually take growing the game seriously, because it's just like, what the fuck does that do for me? And the relationship between player and fan, from the very, very untrained eye and just what I see, has never been worse. Yeah, and granted, part is we see everything. We have exposure to everything. The world was better in a lot of ways when we didn't know shit about each other. It was better. We know shit about. I know shit about this white player's politics. I never asked for, I didn't care for, I don't want to fucking know what you think. I don't want to know what I don't want to know any of that shit. It was better when we didn't fucking know. But the relationship between player and fan has never been worse. So it's like you look at the players, it's like, well, what am I doing shit for them for? But I'm never gonna get thanked for it. Now, granted, yeah, you get paid a lot of money. I get that, but it's like this guy is gonna shit on me regardless. This person's gonna shit on me regardless, and that's kind of what gets me about fans in general. Like some of the people that I see complaining, and it's like you're complaining about their effort in an All-Star game, but like the next breath, you'll shit on James Harden for being a regular season merchant. Why should they want to do shit for you? Why should they want to do shit for you? And the thing with the NBA, like, and I'll leave it here. Nobody likes. Kevin Durant once said it, and like one of the 4 times I've ever agreed with Kevin Durant. He said, "NBA fans don't like the NBA." There's never been something truer said. They don't like the fucking sport. This is not to say that there's no problems with it. I understand that, right? But I watch NFL fans. They don't complain about the sport as much. They do complain. Rightfully so, the rules have changed, MLB fans don't complain as much. NBA fans, everything is a problem. Like, just, and like, I'm not making this some bigger, larger point about Michael Jordan. But, bro, like, LeBron James is one of the most decorated players of all time. There's a large sect of people that no matter what he does, they bring up Mike. Good, bad, and different. They bring up a motherfucker who has not played in 20 years. We don't do that with other sports. We don't do that. We don't bring up Brett fucking Favre. We don't. He retired, and I mean that's even more recent. But you get the point. He retired a long fucking time ago. Imagine if Bryce Harper hits 8 home runs in a World Series, and we're like, "Well, he's not Barry Bonds." We don't fucking do that. We don't.
Yeah, there's definitely has gone this transformation of super criticism, and I agree with you. Like there's really no pushback to that. There's a difference between people thinking, because even Barkley, his whole character is getting a whole reformation thing. So it's undergoing this whole thing. Like people don't like Barkley, but now they kind of like Barkley now because he's more into like the political space and talking about different things. His rebrand is powerful. But when you look at the modern day players, I wouldn't want to do nothing for you if I'm LeBron James and I'm the best and I'm doing all this stuff and you're like you basically call him out, like people call him out of his name, the political stuff. Like when he was trying to do the Black Lives Matter thing, then the Republican side, like he has a whole sect of people that do not like him off of not off of his game, off of his perceived political view. People don't like it. And to your point about not knowing each other's politics and stuff like that, that plays a huge part in how things are being dictated, because once fans think that you're quote unquote WOKE, the terminology I don't like using it should be banned from a certain sector of people,
especially
to repeat,
especially
white people.
Yeah.
But once you get to that aspect, people are going to feel like you're a part of this big thing. You know what I mean? If it's not the Harvey Weinstein thing, if it's not the Illuminati thing, if it's not the Taylor Swift thing, there's a group of people, millions of people, in fact, they're already putting you with this whole patina of negativity. Then you have the just the savants of old school basketball, and they want people to get their jaws broken and get beat up and knocked out of the air. You know what I mean? And Jordan had to survive that, and Kobe survived that too. And Iverson, yeah, all right. So that era is done because they want to preserve the players' bodies. Right. A part of that preserving their body preservation is where you get the Greg Popovich saying, "Yo, we're going to arrest people, not for the All-Star game. We're arresting people for the playoffs and making this run."
Which is all people like to tell you they care about.
Right. Jimmy Butler's is notorious for like, I'm gonna turn it on when I'm ready, and I'll be there in June. Even LeBron at one point in time goes, well, time to get off, unplug for social media. And I mean, he don't do it anymore, but the zero dark 30, whatever, was a thing.
Yes.
So this is the byproduct of guys saying, look, you guys want to see playoff basketball, which in its defense, playoff basketball has been very good. So if we're hurting the regular season slightly and giving you the quality playoff basketball, playoff NBA championship caliber stuff you want to see, I don't think it's a totally bad trade-off. The only problem I have right now with All-Star Weekend in general is that the league and the talking heads don't seem to realize that no matter what you say, these dudes don't care. They're paid. They're paid very well, and a
They
lot of
got a
them,
lot of exposure
a
too.
lot of exposure, and a lot of these
Yep.
guys are in. We're talking about guys in their 15th year. We're not talking. That's another thing too. Jordan, Jordan had the luxury of retiring twice, right? He had the first retirement, you know what I mean, and then retiring again and coming back. He had the luxury of preserving his body. Yes, he played 82 games a lot of times. He had the luxury of preserving his body. Look at guys like Barkley and Pippen, and Drexler and Elijah and Ewing, and look where their career tailed off. It didn't tail off at like some of them didn't tail off at like 35, 36. Some guys started tailing off at 32, 33, where guys like Bron and KD were just entering their prime. Like Steph Curry, people forget that Steph Curry's maybe like first 4 or 5 seasons were kind of difficult until he actually had good ankle health. And and he's up there. So we're still getting quality basketball from guys in their mid-30s. Like I think KD's like 36, and he's still dropping 40-point games. We should be very appreciative for that simple fact. And if it comes All-Star weekend, it's like, hey man, I really don't feel like going hard this weekend because we got to think of the second half of this season to make sure you guys are in the stands to enjoy this playoff game for this championship run. I think that's more better. And if everybody just recognizes what's going on, they'll say, you know what? Let's make All-Star weekend more interactive for the fans. Let's make All-Star weekend more better for the players. And let's not, dedicate all this energy to this, like you said, glorified exhibition game. We don't have to dedicate that much energy to, to the All-Star game. But I will say one thing we have to dedicate energy to: the dunk contest. The dunk contest. Every single, let me not say that. The dunk contest for the most part has been good. Can we agree 85% of the dunk contest throughout NBA history has been fairly good? I think maybe the bad was like 2012, 2013 was like really bad.
I feel like that's probably a fair number. Let's say 75 to 85. Like I feel like most of them have been entertaining in some way, shape, or form. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
The past 2 seasons, and last season was entertaining. Last season was
What's crazy is I don't remember the last season's dunk contest at all. Couldn't tell you who won. Couldn't tell you shit. Well, who won?
Well, Mac won.
Oh,
Mac
right. Sorry.
Same guy.
Sorry.
He won.
I don't remember shit besides him. Sorry.
Right. But I mean, that's the thing, because sometimes I think what people have to understand also, sometimes the dunk contest, one person just takes over the entire show.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it's like, hey, you know what? He was good, but we forgot. Like we forgot that T-Mac was in the dunk contest. He was pretty good. Right. But his cousin was better. You know what I mean? Like, like there's certain, you know what I mean? We forget. Like sometimes guys are in and they get eliminated because one guy is head and shoulders better. It's rare that you get a Jordan versus Dominique versus Spud, Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine, which ended again. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's pay homage to that dunk contest real quick. I'm tired of people posting that dunk contest as the greatest dunk contest of all time when we all know what the ending was. It was a robbery. That it complete. I don't care how great the dunks were. Seeing D Wade's face infuriates me because he was the reason. Because Gordon was like, "I'm done. I'm done. I'll never do it."
The judges are a big part of the problem.
Huge part of the problem.
Huge part of the problem.
Huge part of the problem. But that ripple effect from that, it was like, oh, I'm done. I'll never participate. Now, I'm pretty sure some other prospective guys probably saw that and said, I ain't with it either. I'm not participating either. So I just wanted to just highlight that. When you guys show that, just remember, show the whole thing. Show the robbery. Show Wade in that stupid ass turtleneck and them liquor store shades he had on. Show the whole thing.
Sorry.
Because that was the most infuriating ending to the most magnificent dunk contest we've seen since Jordan and Dominique. And we all haven't seen that either. So that was the best we were going to get. And one singular person with the weakest excuse cost us.
What did he say? What was his excuse again?
I think they were supposed to agree to make it a tie. That was the agreement. They was going to make it a tie and all that stuff, and he ends up
They were supposed
anyway.
to make it a tie. He just went rogue. All right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
interesting. All right,
yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough.
But yeah. So it's there has to be something said about the dunk contest, and it's simply if you first of all if you can't dunk or you can't dunk or barely dunk, you're a rim grazer, and you've never won a dunk contest, you shouldn't be a judge. The judges should be former winners or former participants. And when I say former, I'm not talking about some dude from
Didn't they
1986.
have fucking Karl Malone fucking as a dunk contest official last year, bro?
Bro, they had the dude who the guy who was judging this year. He gave Jalen Brown like a 48 or something like that.
I don't remember. I
I,
know what Gary Payton was a judge. Who else was judges? There was another one
Shaq,
that I saw
I think it was
that,
Shaq,
that I
Peyton,
saw talking crazy about. But I don't remember.
some dude.
But yeah,
He
some
might as
dude.
well might as well call him Doug Williams for all I care. Some
Yeah.
random dude.
Mm-hmm.
Former champions. So Vince Carter, Richardson, anybody. Just find somebody who's won in the past 15 years and let them be judges.
Right.
Two, there's guys on YouTube right now. I think Shaq hosted that one of them shows where these guys do like these phenomenal dunks. Like homie bounced it, and the ball rolled off his arm, and down here he caught it. Have those guys come in.
Get professional dunkers.
Yes,
Please.
have those guys come in.
Like if you can't get like there's like a group of NBA dudes that you could ask. If like Ja Morant isn't willing to do it, Zion isn't willing to do it, I think Ja might be willing. Who knows? But them guys like Anthony Edwards, I guess, if you want to. Well, no, not I guess. He's a legit ferocious dunker and he's a star. If you can't get those dudes to do it, lean into the Matt McClung route. Like Matt McClung's last 2 years worth of dunks have been really fucking fun because he is a professional dunker. He just happens to be a G leaguer. You can get 3 more dudes, give them a G League job, and then let them fucking dunk. Or just make it a dunk contest. It doesn't matter where the fucking dunkers come from. Just make it a fucking dunk contest. Because do I think star power is lacking in a way that affects ratings? Yes. I'm not here to argue that. I do think if you make it the new norm and show like, this is what we're doing, this is the plan going forward, we're just going to get the wildest fucking dunkers we can find and make a fucking spectacle of the shit. I think people will eventually come around to it and watch because we're not entertained by dunks. Hell, we see the reaction when people get dunked on in games, right? We're not like, yeah, the dunks are the problem or it's not. Yes, we have seen a lot of these dunks. I understand that. I get it. It's hard to come up with new shit. I get that. But like the judges are part of the problem. I guess the star power that's way down on this for me. But the judges are part of the problem. How they market is part of the problem. And to me, it's just if you're going to let like 2 of the 3 participants were Jacob Toppin and Mac McClung. Just go all the way. Just get dunkers from the Harlem Globetrotters or Rucker Park or wherever the fuck these people are. Just get the fucking wild ass dunkers, bring them in, let them go crazy because that will be more entertaining than this. And also, I gotta say, and I'll just put it on Front Street. I don't got no cute way to say this. Yo, the judges and what they were doing with Jalen Brown was some of the most insane dick eating I've ever seen in my entire life. Insane. Bro, they gave that man a 48 for jumping over somebody that's my mom's height. My mom, bro. My mom's a fucking 65-year-old, 5'3" woman. Bro,
wait, he was sitting down.
And he was sitting down on top of that. And he was fucking sitting. For some reason, that part doesn't even register for me because, like, short is short.
Right.
Like, whatever. But, like, him sitting down makes it even fucking worse. Like, we talk about, oh, stars don't want to do this. Stars don't want to do that. They don't want to participate in a dunk contest. Oh, we're losing recipes. Da-da-da-da-da. Jalen Brown's a star player. We had a little disagreement about that, whatever. He is objectively a star player. One could argue who he's better than, this, that, the third, whatever. He's a star player. He's like a top 20 player in basketball. He's a very visible player. He's the highest paid player in the fucking sport. He's a star player. If that is the effort, keep it. Keep it. Because, bro, number one, he jumped over a 5'3" dude sitting down.
Sitting down.
Number two, he put a fucking glove on his left hand as if that was some kind of handicap. What are we doing? What the fuck
was
are
it
we
dedicated?
doing?
It was a Michael Jackson tribute. Or
I don't
what was he
know.
doing?
That's the thing. I don't fucking know. If he put the glove on and he like moonwalked, I'd be like, all right, that's cute. But he just put the fucking glove on and then dunked.
Bro,
who gives a fuck about you putting a glove on your left? You are making $300 million. Why am I supposed to give a fuck that you put a glove on your left hand? Why, bro? That infuriated me. Like not just casual. Like, oh, this is stupid. Like, bro, I was boiling when I saw that shit. Like the Kai Kanat shit is just stupid. I can look at that. That's just dumb. I don't know what he's doing. That's just dumb. Bro, you put a glove on your left hand and then dunked. Why? What was the point? What was the point? Like, yes, we make the left hand jokes. Okay, I understand that. Obviously, yes, that's a thing. The left hand, it's a dunk contest. If he did that shit for the skills challenge, that would be funny. That'd be jokes. Because like, oh, you think I can't dribble? Like, look at me. Okay, that'd be jokes. You put a glove on your left hand and then jumped and put the ball in the fucking hole. What are you doing? Why? And they had this man in the finals in our face. They were playing in our faces.
Yo, they pushed him all the way to the finals, and I was just trying to figure out why.
And I don't even understand why. Like, the part that's crazy to me is, okay, like, if I squint hard enough, I understand, like, okay, you're trying to do this so other guys will participate. Sure. But, bro, if Jalen had won that contest, let's say, the blowback would have been insane because the dunks were ass. And like not even ass in like he missed too many or we've seen this stuff before. They were ass in a way where, again, I gave you two of the man's dunks. He jumped over a fucking sitting 5'3" dude and he put a glove on his left hand as if his left hand was a fucking impediment. As if he don't have a left hand. Like as if this was some kind of sitcom and his left hand got blown off in an accident. And he put the glove on the shit, like, haha, see, haha, I can do this, haha. And then when he did it, you have a left hand. What were you trying to accomplish with this feat?
Bro.
Of dunking left-handed. You have a $300 million contract.
The funny thing about the Kai Cenat dunk is that at first they thought he was going to jump over Tatum. But it was not. Tatum just did to hold the ball and throw it up. And he was jumping over Kai. And it was supposed to be the D Brown dunk, where D Brown's daughter went on Instagram like that wasn't it. Like his daughter, like, bro, when you're a Boston Celtic on the team in the first in the East.
So, can I cut you off real quick? 5 seconds. Yeah. So I have ESPN on the background. And it's whatever the show is that they NBA Today on it, whatever it is. What's on the TV right now? Top 5 players that need a ring. That just sums it up. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Right. So
that sums it up. Go ahead.
So like you see you got Kai Cenat out there. You try to jump over him, whatever. He's 5'3". You sit him down. He's like end up being like 3 foot or whatever. But you do the D Brown. The daughter's like, yo, I'm not with that. It's just embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing. I think at one point in time they lit up the parquet, the AI. Shout out to the AI courts. AI courts is a dope. That's a dope addition to the All Star Weekend was the AI courts. I like that. But yeah, they they lit up the court to make it look like the Boston parquet. People were booing. Like, it was just like, yo, bro, it's not working. Whatever it is, but they kept pushing them. The judges were Gary Payton, who is a rim grazer, Mitch Richmond, who he could dunk, but there was a dunk contest. Dominique Lucas, of course. Fred Jones, who could dunk. I think he was in a dunk contest. I think he won 2. And the last dude was Darnell Hillman. That's the dude who gave him a 48 for whatever God knows reason. Darnell Hillman, I don't even know who he is, gave him a 48. It's just, yo, bro, it's just, at one point in time, it was Shaq and Kenny Smith, a couple of dudes. I think Kenny Smith did one. Kenny Smith was either the announcer or the judge or whatever. Shaq and them talking about it. They have to just change how the format is, man. It's embarrassing. Also, to Jacob Toppin tried to do some decent dunks. I think we have to start classifying dunks as if I was to change how the dunk contest is scored. originality would be one, which is hard to do, but I've seen some original dunks. Two, height. With all the AI stuff, especially with the AI court, I think they should be able to measure how high these dudes get off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Three, and it would be dunk power. And I think the thing with Toppin, his dunks, he was getting the level of difficulty was there, but he wasn't putting it down. So it was like kind of like rubbing the rim and stuff like that. I think if they just at least change that as far as the scoring is concerned, and Gilbert, Arenas, and them, they said the fans should vote, and that'll be the fourth thing. I think that'll be the thing. Like if you just base it off of originality, verticality, dunk power, and let the fans vote, it changes the whole entire thing. Now, of course, it'll be up to the fans in the arena. Probably give a little button or whatever, like you know what I mean, if they liked it or not, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it should not be up to 5 or 6 old dudes if you're not going to bring any former champions, like dunk contest champions or whatever, to be there. And yeah. Can you fix it? Yes, because the dunk contest has been good. It has been good. We've had some years where it was bad, but it has been good.
I think the biggest thing, you got to get the pro dunkers, man.
Yeah,
just let them go crazy.
Like I said, I think it was Shaq who had a show when he was all the professional dunkers were there and all that stuff. They were doing like wild stuff. Like one homie was bringing the ball behind his back. And this white dude, he's nasty with it. Let these dudes coach up or whatever, I don't know how the selection process is done. I'm pretty sure you can throw your hat in the ring. Stephen A had an interesting comment talking about it's LeBron James' fault.
Buddy, yeah.
All right, I get it. LeBron should have been in at least one dunk contest. I agree. He should have been in at least one. Is it his fault that other people are participating? No.
Because the best contest any of us have ever seen happen like year 13 in his career. I'm not trying to hear that.
Right. Like, I mean, we've seen Nate Robinson, 4-time champion or 3-time. We've seen Dwight Howard. We've seen a lot of, good dunk contests, great dunk contests without LeBron James. Do I think if LeBron entered, a lot more younger stars would have wanted to enter? It depends on how much you think.
It kind of depends on how it went for him. Like on top of it, it kind of depends on how it went for him.
And also depends on how much you feel like his influence is in the league currently, because a lot of people still talk about Kobe. And like Jason Tatum doesn't want to be in the dunk contest. And he idolizes Kobe Bryant. He idolized the man talking about he came to him in a dream in the playoffs. He idolized him. And even Jason Tatum was like, nah, I'm never doing a dunk contest. Bro, there's no appeal to these guys. Maybe if you make it in $1 million, like incentivized with money, maybe make it in $1 million dunk off for 1.5 million. Like, listen, whoever wins this shit is going to get this bag. Maybe.
Like, the dunk contest doesn't mean to these dudes what it used to mean. To others, like NBA players, like us, like as a collective, like the fans watching it, it just doesn't mean the same shit. And there isn't as much to gain out of winning. Like, as I said with the exposure point, like guys would win the dunk contest and be like, hey, here I am, here. You don't have that now. Like, Anthony Edwards doesn't need a dunk contest to be no star. He's already a star. He's well fucking known nationally.
Right.
Like it is what it is.
Right. Because like remember when Harold Miner won it twice, they would call him Baby Jordan because not only when he plays, but the way he was getting up there. And he had some star power by winning the dunk contest twice. And then it faded away because he was hurt and he didn't pan out. I think there is something to be said about guys becoming stars and household names because they could dunk. Nate Robinson, Mac McClung. If Mac McClung ever gets into the league and plays a regular season game and booms it on somebody, hey, we'll remember that we first saw him at the NBA dunk contest. So I'm not saying it's not impossible to build stars from that event.
Right.
I'm just saying if that's your angle to try to make stars, then stop asking stars to be in it. Stop asking guys in their 5th, 6th, 7th year to be in a dunk contest. Ask them their rookie season. Ask them the second year. If they don't want to do it after that, it's fine. It's optional. It's not like it's mandatory. You know what I mean? But stop putting these guys in our face who are not interested in winning. I don't know why Jaylen Brown entered. Maybe they asked because he
said he wanted to have fun. I'm just like, okay, like y'all wanted stars in it, but the star who was in it wasn't competitive for him. And like I get it. Sometimes you just want to do something just to do it. And I'm not here to argue against it per se. I thought his performance was a joke, not because of how bad it was but
bad.
the shit that he was doing was ridiculous. So, but like, we wanted stars, I guess. Like, hey man, you get a professional dunker, they're not doing that shit.
Right.
Say whatever you want. Like the performance they might miss a couple, they might be nervous, blah, blah, blah. But they're gonna do some wild shit. You get Jaylen Brown putting on a glove and acting like he reinvented the fucking sport. This is what you get.
We've seen some. I should have put up some clips. We've seen some bad dunks from guys who were trying to be creative, and then we've seen some dunks that were creative that didn't get a lot of credit. And I'll just point out to one of them, and I think it was Jalen Green.
I mean, shit, Mac McClung did one where he fucking threw the ball to himself in midair, and they're like, "No, 47." I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing?
when Jalen Green when he blew out the cupcake.
That was Gerald
Green. Yeah. He blew up the cupcake. Yeah, that was one of the dunks that were like.
Gerald Green has one of the best dunks I've ever seen in my life. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. The in-game one.
The windmill. For the net.
Listen,
windmill. That was
nasty. That shit is breathtaking. Like I watch it every time. Every time, like I've never seen it before. It's insane. It's insane.
Nasty. Oh, speaking of All-Star Weekend, shout out to our sponsor, dadsarcool2.com. Shout out to Tim. Tim is definitely in Indianapolis. So with Devin Booker. So with Chris Paul.
The bad bitchery.
I wish I could have been out there with him because I would have come out there just looking like this, man. Indianapolis.
Bad bitchery in the building.
You know what I mean? So shout out to Dads Cool to our sponsor. Use promo code MI569 to get 10% off your purchase. That's dadsarcool2.com, man. Shout out to them. He's making big moves, hanging out with NBA All-Stars, All-Star Weekend. Great things. Real quick, Knicks second half run. The Knicks are I believe they were on a 4-game losing streak for the All-Star game. The injury bug swept through New York. It started with the Julius Randle dislocated shoulder, then the OG Anunoby elbow inflammation. Hartenstein went down as well. Brunson was out for like a game with an ankle injury. The Knicks are banged the fucked up. I believe they're 33-22 and now sitting at 4th in the East. They have a game tonight.
Do they?
Brunson, I think it's tonight.
I don't think so.
It's tomorrow. Something's going on.
I think it's Thursday, bro. Yeah, it's
Thursday. Sorry, it's Thursday. What's going on tonight? Well, I'm working at the Garden tonight.
There's no games until Thursday.
Okay, maybe it's hockey on tonight. So hockey tonight, yeah. I'm working the hockey game tonight. That's why. My bad. But anyway, the Knicks play Thursday against the Sixers. Now this is not a crucial matchup. The Sixers are 32-22. The Knicks are 33-22. Definitely for seeding. How do you feel about the Knicks going on the second half?
It's kind of simplistic. Mm-hmm. If they get healthy, they could go far. If they don't, they can't. Like obviously I'm not going to leave it there because it's a fucking podcast. But that's kind of the oversimplification of it. I think at full capacity, they're capable of banging with anybody in the Eastern Conference. That's what I think about them at full capacity. Is it hard building around a 6'2" dude? Yes. Not good. We've had these discussions. We saw what Beckingham said. We saw the pushback. Yes, it's hard to build. Like when your star player is 6'2", it's hard to win that way in the playoffs. I get it. You're getting the best defenders in the world thrown at you. Entire game plans are built for you to stop you. It's difficult. I get it. If Julius Randle plays more like regular season Julius Randle, which that's been a problem in the playoffs for the Knicks, like him or not, hate him or not, don't care. That's been an issue. His playoff performance has been
career is garbage.
Yeah, his playoff performance has been an issue. If he could play closer to regular season Randle, and they get the necessary shit from the ancillary pieces, because the Knicks have the thing with the Knicks, they've built I'm not gonna say perfect modern team, but they've built their team greatly around what actually works in 2024. And I know that sounds simple as hell in practice, but a lot of teams don't. Mm-hmm. Like it sounds like everybody does that. Like, yeah, they should, but a lot of people fucking don't. And the Knicks are like, all right, you're gonna give us these shooters and all you have to give you is Quentin Grimes? No disrespect to Quentin Grimes, we like him, but he could go. Like we're getting 20-point per game score that shoots 40% from 3. Right. And we're getting Alec Burks, who also shoots well. and he can handle the ball. He can do all of those different things.
Mm.
We have they got OG who defends like rent is due every night,
the best defender in the league,
right? And he can shoot the fuck out of the ball too. The Knicks essentially they've built a team full of either goons or shooters, and sometimes both.
right?
And it's wildly entertaining because like the Knicks could score 130 points in a given night, and then hold somebody to 95 in the same night or the next night. They could do a lot of different things, and we are in an era where to talk about their chances of making the finals, are they as good as the Celtics? No, not here to argue that. And like Chris Stapps on that team is not fair for a lot of reasons. It's really not fair. It's a great trade for them.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the Grizzlies were doing, including themselves so they could get Marcus Smart, but that's neither here nor there. Are they as good as the Celtics? No. Now, we're in an era, we just discussed this. There isn't a bigger gap in pro sports right now between the regular season and the playoffs than the NBA. Like there's a massive gap between what to expect in the regular season and what to expect in the postseason. Obviously, with the way people shoot, there's a lot of variance. Miami beat them last year, not because they were better. Miami was not a better team. They had a better week. They had a better week and a half.
Yeah,
they shot. They couldn't miss shit for 5 games.
Nothing. Yeah,
they couldn't miss shit. That's why they won. Like, and they held on in the end partially. Like, I'm not going to throw the Celtics a life jacket because fuck them. But like, when you get to Game 7, your star player gets injured 3 minutes in. It's hard to recover from that. That's just true. Like, I don't care who it happened to. So, like, can the Knicks in this sport where the variance has never been as high as it is now, and the Knicks have a lot of good shooters and a lot of good basketball players, could they get to the finals? I think they could. They just have to get healthy because they are very banged up right now.
Very banged up.
You need people to get healthy and come back.
Yeah, I think the first person who's supposed to come back from injury, like major injury, might be OG. But he's out. He's out for 3 weeks. So maybe Randall. He didn't require surgery for the dislocated shoulder. But they definitely need him back. I think the funny thing about the Knicks, how they're constructed, they can do fine without him in the lineup. They just can't do fine without OG in the lineup because it just changes the whole defensive thing, landscape completely. But the way they've lost the past 4 games, you can tell not having OG, not having Randall, not having Hartenstein, because Hartenstein's been playing excellent basketball this year.
Yes.
And I pushed back a lot on the idea of him even being the starter for the remainder of the season. But the way he's played and stepped up tremendously, there's so much you can do with Hartenstein in the lineup. And with Mitch apparently coming back from injury as well, it seems like if the Knicks are healthy by end of March, well, that's what it's projected to be, you have a good push for April, and then you're just great for the playoffs. Because at this point, the seeding matter for the Knicks at this point at the 4th seed. They're pretty much going to end up around the same spot. Milwaukee's spiraling, right? We don't know what they haven't been good. The Sixers are out without Embiid. So we don't really have to rush. And Miami is playing good, of course. Miami's going to try to make a push. But I don't think that this Miami team, how it's constructed, could push the way it pushed the last year. I'm not going to count on Jimmy Butler and the rest of the team, Eric Spoelstra, and how they constructed. But they didn't make any moves in the trade deadline. That's like, it's impressive. Oh, they're going to have this run in them or anything like that. Neither did Philadelphia. I think the Knicks were the most active team in the East when it comes to making moves. And those moves, like you said, have perfected how this roster could look. Now, I'm not even talking about finals. I think the Knicks could make the Eastern Conference Finals easily. I think if depending on matchup, Milwaukee's a team that you can beat. Boston's going to be your hardest matchup. And I don't know it depends on how the seeding falls. Most likely the Knicks will get to at least definitely the second round, depending on who they match up against, definitely Eastern Conference Finals if everyone is healthy. Could they make an NBA Finals? I'll say this much. If in 2024 the Knicks make an NBA Finals, I don't look at the Western Conference seriously and say this team could beat us. Because if we look at the Western Conference right now, Minnesota, OKC, those are your best teams, right? If you want to say Phoenix,
define best. We're just talking record-wise?
Just regular record-wise. Those are your best teams. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the Lakers, whatever, because, they're the Lakers. Maybe Phoenix has a run in them. Maybe Dallas has a run in them. Of course, Denver, the defending champions.
Right.
But if it's not Denver in the finals, I'm not scared of anybody in the East, in the West. I think the concern is the East. I think the champion does come out the East. But there's no real concern coming out the West. Like real concern outside of Denver. There's no real concern in the team. Like, oh my God, like we face them.
Well, I think concern and fear are kind of being intertwined here, and they're not the same. Like, there's definite concern. Now, like the Suns, they're a weird team because like they're never healthy. So like it's hard to really get a grasp of what they're going to do. But let's say they get to the playoffs, they get through the playoffs healthy, right? You're looking at a team where we can say whatever you want about their defense. We can say this about that about the other thing. When Bradley Beal is your clear third best scorer, you're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. That's just what it is. Now, fear, whatever, no. Like, yes, you fear the Nuggets because Jokic, there's no answer for him. Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson, you want to drag Patrick Ewing from 95 out here. I don't give a fuck what you do. There's no answer for him. And the thing is, it's not just an answer for him as far as he's going to get 30. He will get 30 and then get you 16 assists on your head top too. That's the problem. Like, he will then create shit for other people. I will say one team I personally think is the second best team, well, the second most likely team to make the finals. Let's put it this way, in the West. And I know we kind of do this every year, and I get it. I get it if you don't want to take these niggas seriously.
Clippers?
The Clippers. Yeah. Like, I think the Clippers are the second most likely team to make the finals because, and granted, I know Kawhi is one notification away from, he's dead. Like, one notification. Like, I get it. I understand. If for some reason he can make it through an entire playoff run, I hope he can because he's really fun to watch. You have Paul George, like James Harden as your third best player. We can say whatever you want about his playoff performance. I get it. If you're just relying on him to facilitate and create for other people instead of having to be the guy or having to be the main creator of everything, I think you're talking about something entirely different. Russell Westbrook, when he was making $40 million for the Lakers and was part of the reason they couldn't build a bench, like, yes, that's a team effort. LeBron and AD signed up for this shit, whatever. Like, that's a big difference than being essentially what he is now, a backup point guard.
Right.
Like, Russ is a backup point guard is overqualified for that job. That's a good spot for him. So, like, I think and Ty Lue is a good coach. I think they have everything. Like, I'd be concerned about them if they get to that place and they're fully healthy. But realistically, we're in an NBA where we've talked about parity for a long time. It's something that really hasn't existed.
True.
Because like the same 7 teams win championships. So I don't know what the fuck parity people are talking about in the NBA because like the same 6 teams win all the time. But this year, like, we don't have a clear. Yes, the Celtics are probably the best team in the league, but no, I have to say probably. Like,
right, because they've been in this position before.
Right. If you ask 100 people who the top 5, 100 people who like watch the sport and eat, breathe, and sleep the sport, who the top 5 best teams are, you're gonna get like 60 different answers.
Right.
Like, that's where we are with it. So, like, I think the Knicks they might be like the 6th or 7th best team in the league, like at full capacity. Right. That might be good enough, depending on what they do in the playoffs.
Depending on what you do in the playoffs. And then you have enough guys who can alleviate the mistakes of Julius Randle, because Julius Randle doesn't have to be the guy. We know he's not the guy. Like this, if there's any year that's clear cut that he's not the guy, it's this season. The offense is running mainly through Jalen Brunson. Yes, there's times where Randle is a key, intricate part of that offense, but we do know one thing: he doesn't have to play the defense we've been begging him to. We have OG Anunoby. The only problem I have with Anunoby is OG has to be healthy, and for his career he hasn't been healthy. He's had I think he has one decent playoff run. And that was in the finals. I think it was the year after, where he was pretty much really good that playoffs. But a lot is contingent upon his health throughout the remainder of the season. I don't think he has to rush back. If I'm the Knicks, I'm telling him, take your time. You know what I mean? Especially with the fact that they had to remove bone spurs from his elbow. Take your time coming back. We don't need to rush you back. We just need you healthy for the playoffs. This second half run, where they stand, they can win 15 games and be fine. And to finish the run, they can win 15 games. We'll put you at 48 wins. They can win 17 games and put you at 50. You don't have to run the table. 48 to 50 wins just good enough to keep you honest at the 4 or 5 seed, so you have a decent first round matchup. And then as it continues on, of course, the tougher matches, maybe Miami, maybe Boston, maybe Milwaukee, however the things fall. But I don't think the Knicks need to make a complete supreme run for a top 2 seed. It'll be nice. They're not far off, from being the second best team. Because again,
Right.
Milwaukee spiraling. The Sixers
health is the main priority.
Health is the main thing.
You just have to get their health. Obviously, like leading into the playoffs, you want to be playing good basketball. Like I'm not saying to just get in there healthy playing shit basketball. You want to be healthy, get the camaraderie between the guys on court together, and hopefully they're healthy and playing together. That's important.
Right. You don't want to be like the playing Lakers who almost made it, but they ran out of gas because they finally faced a team that had to whoop their ass. But
them boys could have had 100% gas. Them boys was losing. Like they might have won a game instead. Fine, instead of getting swept. Them like Jokic was giving them boys the blues. It didn't matter. 2% health, 100% health, 150% health. They could have gave them power ups like the old Super Mario game. Them boys were still gonna fucking lose, dog. Them boys were still gonna lose. They had nothing for Jokic and them. Even though, like, quite frankly, they did give them. Even though I understand they got swept, but you look at the quality of the games itself. Like they gave them the best run of anybody in the fucking playoffs. But the Nuggets were just a cut above everybody.
Right. Is this difficult to make certain runs? Like that's why when Miami goes to these finals, I'm like, it's so good that they make it. But making it from low seeds and have to go like game 6s and 7s, that's tough, bro. That's tough. And you still got to do it in the finals. So we'll see. Speaking of finals and championships, last topic is the commentary from Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon. Mike Trout said this. That he's content in Anaheim right now, and that being traded would be the easy way out. When I signed that contract, I am loyal. I want to win a championship here. Buddy, good luck. Good luck.
Listen, we all have different priorities in life. Okay? So, like, I'm not bashing Mike Trout for wanting to stay in Anaheim. If he wants to play baseball with little notoriety, get paid a whole lot of money, and chill, that's his right. Like, I'm not here to bash him for it. That's his right. Okay? Sure. Now, what made the quote funny isn't even the fact that he said it. It is the fact that Anthony Rendon's quotes happened quite literally the same hour. Hour.
Oh.
The same hour.
Anthony Rendon.
Yeah. And, like, listen, Anthony Rendon's quotes in a vacuum, I'm not going to pretend that they're that bad. They're not. Now, here's the problem. For me, at least one of them, he was an asshole near the end. He didn't he put extra on it that didn't need to be put, right? Talking about, I don't want to be here talking to 7 o'clock. Like, relax, calm down. But like he did that, and mind you, the last 3 seasons, Anthony Rendon hasn't played a full season of games total, not like one individual, no, total. So it's like if you're gonna say all of this. And like Rendon's been telling us this at every turn, mind you. Like these are not new sentiments. If you're gonna tell us this, how do we know that you actually take your job seriously? Like you say you're here, you keep it like I'm here, ain't I? Like that's not exactly a ringing endorsement. And if you're always hurt, how do we know you're putting your best foot forward as far as rehabbing? How do we know you're trying to get back as soon as you can? Like that's how it sounds.
He said baseball has never been a top priority for me. For me. Like, I mean, he personalized it for me. It's been a top priority for me. If I'm Mike Trout and I'm saying, I'm not going to run, shades of Damian Lillard. I'm not running from the grind. I'm going to stay here for this awful franchise. And then moments later, Anthony Rendon was like, well, baseball hasn't been a top priority for me.
Bro, it's such a perfect, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I tweeted.
I saw the tweet.
Yeah, so I'll further comment on that tweet right now. So I tweeted for those who haven't seen, I tweeted Anthony Rendon, Mike Trout saying he died for the Angels, and Anthony Rendon saying he'd rather die than play for the Angels is the most perfect encapsulation of the Angels you'll ever see because it's true.
It's true.
Did I put extras on the quotes? Yes, and people couldn't wait to tell me that in the comments. Oh,
Right.
they didn't say that. Why are you paraphrasing? Because I fucking feel like it. Like what? It's two quotes about from fucking baseball players about baseball. Like the
Right.
way people were coming at it, you would think I was Elon giving clear misinformation about like life or death shit. That's how people were
Right.
coming at me with it. I'm just like, first of all, what? Like, all right, I know that they didn't say that, but let's pretend for a second that I can't read. I'm illiterate. I
Right.
fucked up the quotes. You telling me that, what is it going to accomplish? That's the thing I wonder about people when they start being like the party poopers on clear joke tweets. Like, oh, well, they didn't say that. What do you want me to say? Am I going to delete the tweet because you said this? No. Am I going to sit there and be like, my bad, OG, you right? No. What did you gain from telling me this shit? I do not care. Like, clearly, that's why I tweeted it. Like, I got 2 thumbs. I know the English language, and I tweeted what the fuck I tweeted. So you tell me, bro, it went viral, bro. I had mad people in my mentions. Oh, this is not what they said. It's not that bad. He didn't say he'd rather die. What kind of weirdo tweet? Like, I know he didn't say it. Do you know what the fucking word hyperbole means?
But listen, he might as well have said that because when asked him about his retirement, he said, "My enthusiasm has been the same since I got drafted, to be honest with you. I was actually deleting old emails because of my story to my maximum in my email. So I'm going back and deleting old emails. I emailed myself a pros and cons of why I wanted to stay in the game. This was in 2014. My thought process of the game has not changed since then. I keep making it this long." And he said, "How does your pro and con list compare to 10 years ago? A lot different. I'm married. I have 4 kids. My priorities have changed, blah, blah." The thing that he says right here is it's still a priority for you. It's never been a top priority for me. This is a job. I do this to make a living. My faith, my family come first before this job. So if those things come before it, I'm leaving. That does not sound like somebody on the same team as this guy who said, when I sign that contract, I'm loyal. I want to win a championship here. He said leaving is the easy way out. It shades of Damian Lillard. I'm not running from the grind. I'm going to stay here. F super teams, X, Y, and Z, however you put it. Unfortunately for Mike Trout, he doesn't look at careers like Barry Bonds, who's only been, I think, maybe to put postseason maybe 5 or 6 times, and it's a luscious career. Tony Gwynn, who only been to postseason twice. Ken Griffey only went to postseason 3 times. There's a lot of guys who don't make it to the postseason. Right. And I'm not saying because of maybe it's sheer loyalty, maybe stupidity, maybe it's hard luck, whatever the case may be. But baseball, unlike the NBA, unlike the NFL, your talent is super attractive, but these lifelong 10-year, $400, $500 million contracts are going to keep you strapped down to bad teams sometimes. And the money is great. The money is great, but your surrounding situations, especially with a team like Rendon, it's terrible. And I'm not going to say I feel bad for Mike Trout because this is a conscious decision to say something like that. I feel bad for the fans of Mike Trout who are going to watch him have maybe, like I think last year was probably one of his down years, but you're going to watch him.
The decline phase has started with him. I'm going to say this, and he's going to go nuts this year and make me look like a moron. But point remains, like he looked like a player who still very good, but declining slightly.
Right. So I feel bad for the fans who watched him at his peak and not make the postseason, and they're gonna watch him decline and start hearing the speckles of boos because it happens. If Derek Jeter
and eventually Mike will get sick of this. Like most of them do. Eventually he'll just be like, "I've given everything I could, bro, but like I'd like to actually compete at some point," and he'll get tired of it. That's how it goes.
But if Derek Jeter, like think of people like if Derek Jeter could get booed. Right, and this is a man who has 4 rings. He was getting booed before he got his 5th one. If Derek Jeter could get booed in Yankee Stadium, I don't want to hear anything about any other player. I am not a Yankee fan. I am a Mets fan, and I watched Derek Jeter get booed in the Bronx. No one is above criticism. Even the GOATs are not above criticism.
You know what's funny about that? Like, I think booing your own players in a vacuum is lame because what if you want them to do well, most of these people are not responding well to vitriol, especially in baseball, where there's no more humbling a game that I can think of than baseball. Because you could do everything right. You could be smoking the baseball. and go 0 for 22. That's just how it goes. Like you could be smoking, but you could go 0 for 22. You could be hitting bullshit and go 10 for 22. Like it's a really fucking humbling sport. Booing doesn't do shit. What I will say, and this ties into Yankee fans of booing. Every time like it becomes like a national story, the Yankees are booing the fuck out of somebody. Like both sides just go crazy. You have the people who are just acting like we're throwing batteries. Like that's how they're acting. Like just because they're booing, and then you have the people who are just like who like just want you to know so badly that they will die for their right to boo. And so we get it. You want to be an asshole. Like fine, okay, cool. I'm not saying it isn't all. I'm not saying it's always unwarranted either. Like I think personally, you should reserve booing for the motherfuckers who don't try. That's how I view booing. Like when Aaron Hicks, and I like Aaron Hicks more than the typical Yankee fan does. Way more, mind you. When he missed a ball that landed fair, right? And he thought it landed foul. So he stood there doing nothing while the ball was behind him. And then I think they got an inside the park home run out of it. Boo that. Like, please. I will boo that shit too. And I don't like booing players. But my thing is the main problem with the booing now compared to it then was Yankee fans would, we hold our players to a high standard. Nah, y'all just boo selectively. We used to boo everybody. If Mariano blew 3 straight saves, niggas was booing.
Right.
Fucking Jeter goes 0 for 30 because there was one stretch where he was like 10 for like 60 to start. He had a really bad start. And it was like they were booing him, like they were cheering him, like they were giving him standing ovation when he came to the plate. They were cheering all throughout the at-bats. And then when he get thrown out of first, then they would start booing. It was really weird scene.
I remember when Bernie Williams was playing terrible center field and they were booing the shit out of him.
Like, I don't have a problem with consistency. If you want to be a jerk to everybody, then you're just a jerk. Fine, you're consistent with it. Like, we're going to boo Stanton because he struck out 15 times in a week.
Right.
But like LeMahieu could ground into 88 double plays a year and nobody says anything. Like it just no, you don't hold players accountable. You find the Yankee fans latch onto a fucking piñata and beat it to death. It was Aaron Hicks. I think John Carlos Stanton's probably the one now.
Yeah, it was Stanton.
Like he's probably the one now because he had 2 straight bad years. It's definitely Stanton. He is the target now. Yeah. They latch onto it. Bro, it took them into October to boo Josh Donaldson, bro. Donaldson was awful the entire year. And not in the he was making a lot of contact. Brother, if I had $1 for every time Donaldson swung through a fucking dick high middle fastball, I'd be rich. I wouldn't even be on the show with you right now. I'd be somewhere in Cabo or wherever the fuck, doing whatever the fuck with whoever the fuck. That's what I'd be.
Donaldson had this whole stretch where it was like he had like what was 15 hits and 13 of them were home runs because he couldn't do anything else.
But it was like 15 hits, like 120 at bats. Like it wasn't shit nobody could do nothing with.
He was doing nothing.
But he was swinging dick high middle fastballs the entire year. Bro, there is a fucking there was a compilation of this going around Yankee Twitter. It's 2 minutes. Mind you, again, Josh Donaldson is a professional baseball player who's hitting in the middle of the lineup. There's 2 minutes of this man swinging through dick high fastballs. Middle. Not like it's on the black, not DeGrom. Like, it's just painted. No, bro, dick high, middle. This man swinging through. It is a compilation of this with music and everything, bro. And it took until October to boo this man. They want to boo. Just miss me with the we hold our players accountable. No, it's not that. Y'all like who y'all like, which is fine. Do you? But stop with the accountability bullshit because it's not about accountability. It's about y'all latch on somebody you don't like and you boo them to high hell. That's it.
That's basically it. But like I said, I feel bad for the fans of Mike Trout who's going to win. This guy he hasn't been to the playoffs since he was 22 years old. It's 10. This season will be 10 years later. Yep. I feel bad for those who watched him, who are loyal fans to him, and they're going to watch him decline because he wants to be loyal to a product that's frankly not good. And you just lost the best player in baseball to the Dodgers. Like I said, down the road. You didn't lose him. He went to another team. Ohtani's still in California. And that to me is the worst thing ever. Because if you just left and said, he's in New York, he's playing for the Mets, the Yankees, whoever.
Bro, this man went to another team in the same state and they were parading him around like he never played there before.
Like he never been.
Funny, bro. Like the way they treat Ohtani, you would think he came from like Seattle. or some shit. That's how they were treating him, dog.
Bro, they put him on a private jet to go 30 minutes away.
Yes, which is absurd for a lot of reasons. But yes,
Yeah, 30 minutes, yo, private jet for what? From Anaheim to Los Angeles, like for what? Y'all
bro,
put him on a private jet.
they were giving that man jersey. Like, bro, he
Took him to
played. Like,
Philly.
granted, he didn't play in LA. Fine, bro, he played on a team
Right,
with Los Angeles in the name last year,
right,
and
right.
we're
The Los
giving him
Angeles Angels,
Rams jerseys and this, that, and the third. I wouldn't be surprised to give him a key to the fucking city. All this, it's insane,
bro. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But that's been our show, man. No Jude's groove this week because there's no Jude. I know you guys normally look forward to that, but he'll be back when he's off his paid vacation.
Sabbatical.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin Lewis. Make sure you follow Kevin Lewis at KayleeW24. And make sure you subscribe to the Only Teams That Matter on the Underdog Fantasy Network with Coley Mick. Follow Jude Truth at Jude Truth. Follow us on TikTok at middle_initial_pod. Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at MIPod69. And follow me at ACaseOnline. One more sponsor shout out. Shout out to W Brand Energy Drink. There it goes. Be better with W, a Agilist Energy Blend. My package is coming soon, so I get to review and tell you guys all about it. If I like it, I'll let you know. If I don't like it, I may not let you know. I want to see if I get paid.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think you're gonna let him know if you don't like it.
I may not let you know if I don't like it. But I'm big on energy drinks, so I got my sample pack. I'll definitely let you know which flavors I like. So shout out to everybody who's tuning in. Shout out to our patrons. Shout out to Stefan. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Rodney. Shout out to Khalil. Shout out to Tori. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to a bunch of people. It's like 20 people right now, and we're growing. So shout out to everybody who participates in the Patreon. Make sure if you want to be a part of the Discord conversation, maybe be featured in an episode, check us out. Also, before we go, follow our new show, My Pod Black Diamond. BD Pod at 24. Let me enter that right now so you guys know where to find them on social media. BD Pod 24. That's Hugo and Maddie, members of our Patreon and of our part of our Discord. We have their own shows, their own show that we're producing that's coming out very soon. Talking about Mets and Yankees baseball. And Kev has another production credit under his hat.
Yeah, man. When I'm rich in like 10 years, I won't forget y'all, man.
We'll forget the little people. We'll forget the little people.
I won't forget y'all, man. But yeah, no, it should be fun.
Definitely.
Baseball's kind of in a dead period right now, if we're gonna be completely honest, because it's the start of spring training, and like on the trade and free agency front, like just not much is happening. So it's a little bit dead, but you find ways and you find shit to talk about.
Being excited about. You're definitely gonna see us at games this year, so. You know what I mean? Definitely gonna see Kev at the Bronx, and you might see.
Yeah, and I'll say this before we sign off for good today. When you see me around Yankee Stadium with the Dominican flag around my neck, don't say nothing to me.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. Don't say nothing to me. I'm doing what I do. What I do. Just mind your business. Don't ask no questions. Just either dap up or walk past. Don't say nothing to me. Thank you. Respect me at this time. Thank you.
Say goodbye.